Greetings, dear viewers, and welcome to my fan commentary on episode 31 of Power Rangers in Space, the first episode of the Psycho Ranger story. With the episode, Rangers Gone Psycho. What's different in the beginning of this episode, watching the first 2 minutes, is just them fighting a random, monster, which was lifted from the Mega Ranger footage of the Owl Monster that they briefly fight. So to replace what was traditionally always a previously on Power Ranger segment, we just have them fighting this Owl Monster that is sadly unnamed, which was also in Mega Ranger an episode about Mega Blue when he was under mind control in Computer Lab, but that was again in that episode. But I don't understand what was on Earth was with the point of the Owl Monster fight if it has no bearing on the plot, if this is not a TJ centric episode. And for those who remember having the Psycho Ranger saga on VHS, there was once of course, the direct-to-video Power Rangers in Space movie on VHS of the Psycho Ranger saga with the 5 episodes of the storyline in the form of a movie. But this part of them fighting the Owl Monster was cut out from the VHS release of the saga. This episode immediately picks up right where we were following the Astronema reveal storyline with the whole Astronema is Corone story arc, which this inevitably does pick up from that, although I know I didn't do commentaries for those episodes, but I'll get back to those eventually. But I just wanted to do the Psycho Ranger episodes because I was excited to do this storyline, for the commentaries. Yeah, Andros reminiscing about the locket because knowing the fact he now knows that Corone is Astronema, and yeah, it's not looking great. But this is right after Dark Specter's revenge, where he finds out that Astronema has been reprogrammed. Corone has been reprogrammed to be pure evil as Astronema, never to stray away from the forces of. I'd rather get better burgers and fries at McDonald's or somewhere. I'm sorry, Adele, but them burgers look. Ugh. Yeah, them burgers do look good, but all I see is nothing but lettuce in the buns of the sandwich. Seriously. And then the fries. Like, come on, man. Yeah, they think the communicators were like malfunctioning. It was the sound of that girl's Componus 2000, whatever it was, some little pager calculator looking thing. But I don't know why it had the same sound as the Rangers communicators. That just gave it all away. I think this is the last time we're going to see the Surf Shack, because let's face it, the Surf Shack was barely a place that they hang out at, because when this was once Ernie's Juice Bar, yeah, I understand that's gone now, but it was just a pointless hangout spot because the Rangers hardly ever come to this place because they're mostly on the Astro Mega ship and whatnot. This plot element of the fake Power Rangers, this was definitely lifted from the exact same episode of Mega Ranger where they did the same thing. With the Ninja Rangers, which is the Psycho Rangers counterpart, with the black squares on the suits. God, that news reporter lady was so fucking hot. Yeah, run! Damn, them legs, too. Yeah, you better run if you can run on them heels, news reporter lady. And she gone. Thus until the real Power Rangers show up. I think Astronema's plan of getting the Psycho Rangers on the Rangers was a great way of going full pure evil to finally take down the Rangers, knowing that she's now under Dark Specter's full control with the cybernetics. So I think for her first major big plan in her cyborg form, she figured, okay, let's make some Power Rangers that can totally annihilate the heroic counterparts. You can see Psycho Red's sword with the evil Red Ranger, because again, we're finally showing off the Psycho Rangers finally. You know, so much for the evil Green Ranger story back in season 1, but this was an epic 5-part storyline like no other. I mean, it's up there with the evil Green Ranger saga from season 1. Nothing against that, though. But I just think that the Psycho Rangers wailing on their same exact colored multicolored counterparts, it's just phenomenal that they got the same moves, they got similar weapons, they got the same, but though they got the same colors and all, and they can do a lot of things that the real Space Rangers can't do. And that is just phenomenally just like sick. Although this was, again, the exact same thing that also happened in Mega Ranger also when the Ninja Rangers did the same thing. But I think it was a lot more badass and epic in PR than it was in Sentai when Mega Ranger did it. So. And thus the reveal. It took Power Rangers 200 and... I mean, we're over 200 some episodes up to this point before we get to 293, which was around Countdown to Destruction. Now, it's taken the franchise 6 seasons and 270 some episodes to finally give us something we've been wanting since the series began. True evil Power Rangers. And the Psycho Rangers live up to that. You know, I like all the Psycho Rangers. I love their outfits and all because they are the proper definition of an evil Power Ranger as opposed to what we were getting back in the last 5 years, because all the evil Rangers we had over the last 5 years were a bunch of jokes, especially Zed's Dark Rangers. Although if you want better Dark Rangers from Lord Zed, I suggest read the Boom Studios Mighty Morphin Power Ranger comics for the Dark Rangers counterparts there. And then when it came to, you know, the evil Ranger clones we had, like even Chromite Shadow Rangers last season, or Crash and the Creeps from that Song of Confusion episode. I mean, we're finally living up to something the franchise should have had. But again, production-wise, Sentai wasn't around Mega Ranger, because when Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the second season, well, predominantly the second season, Sentai was already on to Kaku Ranger. Oh, the footage of the Psycho Rangers leaping around that metal bar thing, that was actually from the Sentai footage. They should have just teleported instead of just leaping over from Sentai footage. They should have just showed up. And, you know, in like flares or something. But it took a long time for us to get this many, you know, to get us proper evil Rangers. Because we did not, you know, all of the evil Rangers we had, they were just, again, like I said, they were jokes. And that's why I'm glad we have the Psycho Rangers. But what's so tough about it is that the Psycho Rangers and the Psycho Rangers later on, all the Power Rangers seasons after this and the next season, any evil Ranger duplicates, they just don't live up to what the Psychos did. And what I do like about the Psycho Rangers is that they also like to hear and find out the voices of the Rangers, and they can get away with that because no other evil Ranger can actually do that. They're pretty much like stalkers when you think about it. In a way, they kind of are. They are like stalkers. They want to know everything about the stalkers. And then when they see the civilian with that same pager thing like that girl had earlier in this episode, they think he is one of the Rangers, but he's not a Ranger. Even the Psycho Rangers can even attack civilians and to think they are Rangers. Wow, that is sick. Again, this was also the exact same thing as Mega Ranger, and how the Ninja Rangers did the same thing in Japan. And then Pink and Yellow go after an old lady in a Dodge and thinking that old senior citizen is a Ranger. When, yeah, I understand hashtag ageism when it comes to the fact we can't have older people as Power Rangers. Man, Psycho Pink is so strong. She had to rip that whole car door. Yeah, that old lady in the yellow, they think she's a Ranger, but again, she's not. You sure you guys ain't gonna put that car door back the way it was? Usually, a lot of Carlos's appearances in space, he would always have the ponytail. This is one of the few times we've seen Carlos with this hairstyle, with his hair, his long hair tied to the back. Similar to how Tommy had his hair back in his appearances as a Ranger during seasons 2, 3, Zeo, and Turbo, sometimes in Turbo. Yeah, we may not have a proper Psycho Ranger, a Psycho Silver Ranger, but again, when I get the 5 of a kind later. Well, they find out that Zane is at least a Ranger because he's associated with him, because his Digimorpher, I was about to say Digimorpher just fell out of his hand. Yeah, they are so successful at finding the Rangers, hunting them down, stalk them, and try to hurt them. This is rough. Like, this is a really rough, sinister way to start a evil Ranger storyline. Kudos for Judd Lin for writing this. Common sense. Or maybe they should have just leave their communicators on the mega ship, so Alpha, or I don't know, because again, the Psycho Rangers know who they are, and also the Morphers. You know, the Morphers, there should be an off button, you know, communication button on the Morpher to like disable it, so that way the Psychos won't detect them and then attack them, because they know that the Rangers are wearing the exact same colors as the Psychos are, and even heck, that gives it all away. This old mansion, man. Where is this at again? I mean, it's a library, but it's really more of a mansion than a library, if I do say so myself. Because you see a bunch of broken down keyboards, computer monitors, well, circa 1990s. I believe that mansion was used in an old Saban show or something, but long before Power Rangers. And wherever this location was when they did this, or I don't even know if that was like green screened or anything. I wouldn't be surprised if they run into that house that was used for the Hillhurst house in Beetleborgs. That would have been weird, because even though Power Rangers, they don't want to acknowledge all the other shows that Saban produced that was around the time of Power Rangers, mostly during the Zordon era. And like, it would have been nice if we tied all those shows together, though. After all, we tried to make VR Troopers, Mask Rider, and Beetleborgs canon the Power Rangers before, but I guess they wanted to debunk that. And then the way how the Psychos are running after the Mega Tank, that is even surreal. Okay, coast is clear, now they morph. Oh yeah, didn't know Andro's Spiral Saber can penetrate through force fields. Yeah, if that first fight with the Psychos were tough, this got even tougher in front of the library. You were expecting Santa Claus, maybe? Well, I don't know. Well, yeah, knowing the fact we don't have no Christmas episode, but although in one of the episodes of the Ninja Ranger arc in Mega Ranger, the episode that Silence is Golden was adapted from, that was a Christmas episode. Just saying for those who didn't know that, for those who didn't see Mega Ranger. And then the way how they were, even, yeah, their first confrontation was kind of rough, but this is even rougher. Seeing them wailing on the Rangers at the park, oh my god, that is just rough. Like, real rough. What a hell of a way to introduce these guys. Yeah, this also happened to Mega Ranger 2 when Mega Silver was captured by the Nezzy Rangers, trapped somewhere. It was the same thing, so it made sense for Zane just to be morphed once, but the second and third acts of the episode, he is captured and then he breaks free out of the ropes that the Psychos put him in that abandoned library. Man, this is brutal. Really brutal. Seeing the Rangers getting evaporated by the freaking green energy, energy beams of the Psycho Rangers, it's just, God, this is like perhaps one of their worst defeats yet, man. I mean, this is one of the few times this season where the Rangers lost a fight, especially in the case of this season. But in the Sentai footage, you saw some ripped holes in the suits. But when you cut to American footage, you see some bits of black spandex underneath the suits with a tear, even like on the right side of the Red Ranger's chest. You can see some black spandex ripped, visible through the overall suit spandex. Nothing against Astronema's other appearances with her wig and whatnot, but I think Cyborg Astronema was actually way more intimidating. I think this is when Astronema got really more captivating and at her peak as a villain. Nothing against what she was during the entire first and second chunks of the season, but once we get to Cyborg Astronema, this is when she got really intimidating with her master plan to overthrow Dark Specter. But although despite that, her and Ecliptor have been manipulated to finally follow under Dark Specter's control, and well, I've been longing for that because oh yeah, you can briefly see right when Astronema talks about there's only one room for one evil monarch, and that will be her. You can see that unreleased prototype Astronema figure that Bandai never did release for In Space's storyline, ending the episode. Oh yeah, if you go back to the end credits for the bloopers on the production slate, it says something about it being filmed. Well, you can see Judd Lynn's last name, but if and you can see the production date. The slate said they filmed the episode on June the 30th of 19, or is it April or June? I can't say. I think it looks like it's June 30th of 1998. Because this was when they were still on hiatus while the remaining episodes of In Space were airing. So they filmed these episodes beforehand. So it was nice they did that. So now that we got the Psycho Ranger saga in the beginning, the worst is yet to come. So tune in for tomorrow when I discuss the next episode of the saga.